A politician seeking re-election who doesn't want his previous unflattering expenses claims resurfacing, a GP who had multiple negative reviews from patients appear online, and a paedophile convicted of possessing child abuse images. These are not three people you would typically group together, but thanks to an EU court ruling last week, all three are now seeking to have their pasts forgotten by Google. Last week, the European Court of Justice ruled that every single person has a right to be forgotten online. This means that if you request Google or Yahoo to remove personal information about you from their search results, they have to. This makes it much harder for everyone else to find that information about you. While some believe this is a big win for privacy, many have questioned the logic of relying on a law which was implemented long before the World Wide Web became so popular. One such critic is Wikipedia founder Jimmy Wales, who called the ruling ridiculous.
The ruling is ridiculous. I think it's highlighted a real flaw in the European privacy law, which is older than the internet in many ways. And a very strict reading of the law leads to this very bizarre conclusion that a newspaper can publish information and yet Google can't link to it. I mean, it completely makes no sense at all.
We're now 1 week on from the EU ruling, yet there are lots of questions still left to be answered. We don't know how Google or Yahoo will process these requests, we don't know who exactly will be allowed to make the requests, and we definitely don't know which information will be removed in the end. The problem is that we don't really know who the EU is trying to protect with this new legislation. Because the court has not laid out a process for dealing with these requests, critics believe that Google and others will take the path of least resistance, meaning they will simply acquiesce to every request, and information which should remain visible will be buried, making it harder for those searching for it. As Jimmy Wales points out, another problem is that this ruling is only applicable to search engines who have a physical presence in Europe.
It's clearly going to have a major impact on all search engines who are doing business in Europe. But the interesting thing is it will have no impact on smaller search engines who aren't doing business in Europe, like DuckDuckGo, for example.
The ruling could also be interpreted in such a way that it could affect services other than search engines. And Wales believes that one of the world's biggest websites could be impacted.
It could very well impact Facebook because they do a lot of the same kind of algorithmic sifting through links that people have posted to show you what they show you. It's the same kind of processing of data and therefore could be subject to the same kind of blockages.
Facebook, Google and Yahoo are still investigating exactly what this ruling will mean for them and their users. And we'll have to wait until they decide what it means before we really see what it means for search in the long term. The EU believes this will protect people's privacy, but what it could do in the long term is make it harder to find information which should really be in the public realm. I'm David Gilbert, Technology Editor of the International Business Times, and for all your news and reviews, make sure to check out ibtimes.co.uk/technology.